Guys, I'm coming on because there's just a couple more days left with the election, and everyone's kind of freaking out. And for the life of me, I I understand why they do because we're acting in the natural, but it still pains me because let the truth be told, it's already been decided who's going to be the next president. We all know that by that 10% called the elite that controls the masses. They've been doing that man, since really the beginning or the onset of the American or the United States as we know it. What we need to really be concerned about is what will we do after the election? How will we treat each other after the election? Prior to, it has been so much anger, so much hate, so much animosity, and just a disdain for another human being based on melanin. Based on melanin. People with melanin are being told by non-melanated people that if their candidate loses, then they better watch out. The other group has said to those very same melanin people, that's not going to happen, we got you. Now, the reality is, here it is 300-400 years down the line. They haven't had us up until this point. What makes us think they're going to have us now? But a lot of people with melanin are believing that hype, right? They're believing that hype, and because of that, and having the mindset of the lesser two evils, they're going on and giving one particular party their vote, which, hey, to each his own. If you like it, I love it. And that's just how I flow. What doesn't flow with me is this judgment that continues to come down on each party regarding those that do not and choose not to participate in this warped, corrupt political system. There have been so many people on both sides criticizing, condemning, judging those who have decided to not vote or to vote for a third party. They've been guilting them to vote, right? They have been basically telling those people that if one of these other two gets it, it's because of you that they got those votes. And if that be the case, you have no right to say anything for the next 364 days and the other 3 years because you could have done something about it. The lie in that is your electoral college system, right? And it is according to your history. It is in the Constitution, and it is a compromise between the election of the president by a vote in Congress and election of the president by a popular vote of qualified citizens. Qualified citizens. And this is why they are saying that this particular system was implemented, because the founders of U.S., the white United States of America, felt that they couldn't trust the direct democracy from the people. Now hear that. They did not feel that Americans could speak for themselves. They did not feel that their sense of democracy would fall in line for America. And these are American citizens. This is what they felt. So they put this in here. We saw how foolish this whole thing was in 2000, right? When that election, some still say, was stolen, right? One had the popular vote, but because the number of electors in each state is based on the sum of its U.S. senators and U.S. representatives, they overrode the vote of the people. And this is a democracy. And this is still going on now. So when people decide not to vote or to vote for a third party, who are you to judge them for using their unalienable right to do that? We have become so godlike that we feel that it is our right to judge, condemn, and execute those who don't think like us, those who don't act as us, those who do not look like us. Who the hell are we to have that holier than thou attitude? When did we become gods? I'll tell you when we became gods. We became gods when we came over from Europe, right? When Europeans came over here and began to manipulate Native Americans and other natives that were here on this land, put their religion into their mindset, gave them alcohol and things of that nature to alter their sense of self, their sense of spirit, and manipulated them to give away their land. And those that didn't give away, they took it. This is how this place was formed, right? These are the same people that had children, whose children had children, whose children had children. Hence, here we are now with those great, 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 great grandchildren that have had centuries of white privilege. And it has allowed their cognitive dissonance to become overwhelming, where they only see their way. And those who are not, or who do not have those types of resources, right? They're frowned upon, right? They are judged based on their lack. That's scapegoating. That's what we're known for in America. Rather than dealing with our own dirty laundry, we'd rather put the blame on someone else or another group, rather than looking at the fact that from the onset of the beginning of this country, we have been lying, stealing, killing, and destroying everybody that does not fit our criteria. So we have now, fast forward, 300 or 400 years of this systemic abuse, misuse, and exclusion of certain groups of people. But it's interesting how every 4 years you make it a point to appeal to those people to get their vote. They don't matter any other 364 days or those other 3 years, right? But that particular day, you now see them as valuable. You now see them as visible. And let's keep it real. After November 8th, you're going to go back to what you normally do. Nothing's really going to change on the day-to-day occurrences of those very same people that are struggling. And you could care less. How do I know that? You continue to see the atrocities, the brutality. Do we want to believe that after November 8th or November 9th that police brutality will end? Do you really expect us to believe that on November 9th everyone will be treated equal? Everyone will have equity, equality, justice, fairness? Do you really expect after 300 or 400 years for people that have been oppressed for 300 or 400 centuries to believe that you have all seen the light and you're ready to correct those wrongs? Right. You should not. You should not. What you should be doing is thinking, what can I do to be authentic? What can I do to be sincere? What can I do that if they trust in me, that I can show them that all that other stuff I'm not going to do anymore. We're not going to do anymore. We're a party that represents everybody. Right? Something to think about. I'm going to get back with you. And until then, I say,